And here we are in Diamond City, California, 60 degrees outside, clear, perfect day, sun setting, perfect day for a dodgeball match. Diamond Margays. Both teams with a lot of clout recently and years past, talented rosters, talented frontmen, and it should be a good game, playoff atmosphere here. Both these teams really dog eat dog divisions, and they need all the points and they can get. Margay's 2-3, just hanging on by a thread. Empire already won this week, and I mean, no matter who wins the Dizzy Devils Sea Dogs game, it's going to be 5-1, 4-2, 4-2 in the North, and the Margays are fourth. I mean, it's do or die here for this team. Jay Woods is having a stellar year. It's way better than any expectations defensively. Pascal, he's back to his ways. He's back to being a solid guy, and hopefully over his playoff debacle. Diamonds, they just win. I mean, they're leading They're leading the division race in the West right now. That's what they have the cap on because they're beating the Silverbacks head to head, but they're also good in the points race. So the Diamonds are in a really good spot. You can kind of throw out their record. They're just playing really well, and the West is so ridden with losses, and the Silverbacks, they have a good record, but they haven't had great wins. So it's weird. The records don't really mean anything in the West. The Gold are the only ranked team, and they're 2-3. So it's weird. And the Diamonds are in a good position. They have good potential. They have a good roster. I mean, Harry Harper's come on. He was playing well for the Reapers for a couple of years. He came over to the Diamonds. He was kind of tired of the infighting there. He's coming along strong. Antonio, though, playing out of his mind. I mean, it just doesn't make sense how well Antonio is playing. Really, really outshining Harper in the role that Harper thought he would be in. Lyons hasn't really adjusted to the second arm role as well as Sebastian's been named first arm and is not the captain anymore. But he's still reliable, still a big arm threat, but just not the MVP leading candidate he was this time last year. So it should be a good game. Expect big things from. I mean, Coach Regan is so good at keying down on how to stop teams. I don't think Jay Woods is going to have a very big day, but I think if Raj Timor can get a big game and really show that he's ready to be big time and get under the shadow of Pascal, I think the Margays will have a really good shot at this. It'd probably be an 8-set game. I think the Margays are just a little more talented and a little more in their lane for this game and a little more on the line. But we'll see, and let's get this thing started, folks. Okay. Woods going against Davies. Woods has the advantage dashing. Margays win the start. Pascal throwing at Sebastian out the gate. Davies comes in with the interception. Who knew? Sebastian throwing at Jay Woods, and Jay Woods is out. Right? Timor throwing at Sebastian. Sebastian's out. Lions throwing at Timor. Timor's out. Irwin is throwing at Lions. Lions out tit for tat, but that advantage that Davies gave the team is just really paying off right now. Harper throwing at Cardi, the rookie first rounder. Cardi dodges, nice. And Irwin throws at Harper, and Irwin gets Harper out. Antonio and Davies out, still out. Antonio throws at Cardi out, and Irwin is throwing at Antonio. And Irwin gets Antonio. It's just going to be Davies versus Irwin, kind of an unlikely battle here. Davies and Irwin dodges. And Irwin throwing at Davies, but Davies with the catch, and Davies really playing well at the interception and the catch. Win the set, get the Margays and the Irwin for the freaking Margays at 3 points. What a weird set. Davies and Irwin. I mean, what the heck? Both guys from Texas, actually. Texas Institute. Random fact. Margays win the second set start. Pascal throwing at Sebastian, and Sebastian is outed. Can Lyons step up and gets Pascal out doing his job? Timemore throwing at Lyons. Can he defend? Nope. Tit for tat so far. Harper throwing at Jay Woods, and Jay Woods dodges. Timemore throwing at Harper. I think the Margays just have the advantage now with backcourt. And Timemore gets Harper. It's going to be Antonio and Davies left. Antonio throwing at Woods, and Woods is out. Timemore throwing at Antonio. Davies sacrifices himself for an interception but doesn't get it. Antonio, last man standing. Antonio throwing at Timemore, gets Timemore out. And it's going to be Irwin throwing at Antonio. And Antonio's outed by Irwin. And the Margays, they've done a good job. Both teams have done a good job of taking out the top players. And Margays just have the better backcourt right now. So this is what playoff type games come down to. It's all about backcourt. It's really kind of weird. You invest all these time and energy and money into these high ranking players, but to be upper echelon, it really just depends on how dynamic your backcourt players are. But it obviously requires you to have top tier players to pretty much be sacrifices. It's a weird sport. Margays won the third straight start. Pascal throwing at Sebastian, and Sebastian outed again. Lyons throwing at Pascal. Pascal gets out. Timemore throwing at Lyons, and they're just not playing defense on the top of the sets. Harper throwing at Woods, and Woods is out. Timemore throwing at Harper. Harper catches. Big game changer there. Harper throwing at Accardi, but Accardi gets the catch. And Irwin throwing at Antonio. Antonio catches. Just a bunch of catching now. And Antonio throwing at Accardi, and Accardi is out, and the Diamonds take the lead. That got a little interesting there. But Diamonds lead through it. Harper 2 points, Lions 1, Antonio 2. Yeah, I mean, these teams they're just getting each other out. They're just top of the set. They're just knocking each other out. Margays win the fourth straight start. Pascal throwing at Sebastian. Sebastian just really can't get a good defense together. Lion throwing at Pascal. It's been the same exact thing the past couple sets. Timemore throwing at Lions, and Timemore gets Lions out. And Lions. Harper throwing at Jay Woods. Jay Woods with the catch. Timemore throwing at Glenn Davies. Throw caught by Davies. Can the Diamonds get this back? And Antonio throwing at Jay Woods, and Woods tries to catch it, but Antonio did all his might with that catch. Ties it up. Irwin Antonio. Antonio dodges. Antonio. See, Antonio's playing so well for the Diamonds. It's just kind of mind-boggling. And Accardi throwing at Antonio. Accardi dodged by Antonio, and Antonio gets Accardi out. Antonio, 3 points. This man is putting his name on the map this season. Diamonds really weren't expecting anything. They get Harper, lose Hansen, get Harper. They thought that was the big change. They get rid of Capley. They thought, they get Glenn Davies for captaining. They thought Antonio was just going to ho-hum it this year, but he's really making his mark, and the Diamonds have a 3-1 lead here. Margays win the start. Pascal throwing at Sebastian. Pascal gets him out. Lyons throwing at Pascal. Pascal dodges. Pascal might be taking over this set. Gets Antonio out. Harper throwing at Pascal. Pascal is outed. And Timemore throwing at Lyons. Gets him out. Harper throwing at Jay Woods. And Jay Woods catches. There we go with the defense. Timemore throwing at Davies. And the Margays just have a really good set. Timor, Pascal, Jay Woods. That's what they're kind of built here. They need these three to play very well down the stretch for them to have a chance at the playoffs. I mean, it's crazy. And last year, the Margays, it was their year. Everybody knew it. It was the Margays' year. They went 10-1. They were by far the best team in the league outside of the incredible Toros. Couldn't even get to the invite, and now they're scrapping together sets to try to get to the playoffs. It's crazy what happens in a year. Diamonds win this start though. Sebastian throwing at Timor. Timor out. Pascal throwing at Antonio. Antonio out. Sebastian has to take over the set, and Sebastian gets Pascal. Jay was throwing at Sebastian. Davies tries to intercept, but keeps Sebastian alive with his sacrifice. That's a good move. Sebastian throws at Jay Woods, gets him out. Everyone throwing at Lyons. Lyons, it's out. And Sebastian throwing at Irwin. Sebastian just going ham right now. Cardi throws at Sebastian, and Sebastian with the catch, 5 points for the master. And Margay and the Diamonds 4-2 knocking on the door at home. It's going to be a classic win if they can get this here. Great participation from everybody, and just really showing that this team has a multi-pronged approach and they have good coaching, and that's why they've been so potent for so many years. Margays win the set 7 start, and they need a big set from Timor, Pascal, and Jay Woods to just get through this. Pascal, and weak throw, but Lions can't dodge. Sebastian throwing at Timor and gets him out. Pascal throwing at Antonio gets him out. Sebastian throwing at Pascal. This is huge. And Pascal is outed by Sebastian's big throw. Jay was throwing at Sebastian. Sebastian out. Weak catch. And Harper's throwing at Irwin. And Irwin is out. This is big. Jay was throwing at Harper. Can he change the game? And Harper catches a weak throw by Jay Woods. And Harper, Cardi dodges. And Cardi caught by Harper. And the Diamonds take the cake. 47 index. The Margays didn't play terrible. 69 participation. They were both even with efficiency and execution. But it was just a good effort by Antonio. I mean, he really put himself on the map this game. 67.9 index, 67 efficiency, 7 for 7 throwing with a 47.1 throw average. I mean, who is this guy? He's not a rookie. He's in the middle of his career and just decided to uptick his performance. Lions 5 for 4 throwing. Sebastian a perfect 7 for 7 throwing, 1 catch. Davies tried to stick his neck out, a couple interceptions. So it was a good participation all around from both teams, really. 69 participation is hard to come by. Cardi had 1 catch. Timor, 8 points, led the team. Pascal did what he could. I mean, nobody was really game-changing defensively. That's kind of lacking from Jay Woods. Didn't really step in and intervene in anything. But did his dashing duty, but the Margays find themselves 2-4. This doesn't hurt them in the division race, but I mean, they need their points. They're not sitting terribly in the points race, though, which is good. And they get a 33 index game, so they're really still in the mix at 2-4. It's kind of weird, and the Diamonds just really kind of solidify their place. They're probably going to jump back in the rankings with this one. And this has been another Dodgeball exclusive hosted by the Saturn channel, and we will see you in Nebraska for the Battle of the Undefeateds. We are so excited for that. Have a good night.